to something a bit different from the channel. As you can probably tell from the title, today I'm going to be doing a fun little recap of a Shakespeare play, namely Hamlet. Got my complete works here, just in case. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Alright, so we start Act 1, Scene 1. There are some guards, and they think they've seen a ghost. They're like, oh my god, Horatio, there's a ghost, and we can't. And Horatio's like, the ghosts don't exist, man. Like, what are you... supposed to see these ghosts? And they're like, no, seriously, Horatio, there was a ghost. And he's like, alright, fine, show me the ghost. And so they're like out at like midnight on guard duty, like on the wall. Like, we're in Denmark. I don't know if I mentioned. So, they're like in the castle of Denmark, and something's rotten in the state of Denmark. Yeah. And so they're like, come on, quick, look, come, look at the ghost. It's terrifying. We don't like it. And so Horatio's like, fine, I'll come and look at your ghost. And so they're out there waiting. It's midnight, and then, oh my god, actually a ghost. And Horatio's like, oh my god, actually a ghost. And also it appears to be the ghost of Hamlet Senior, who, not the Hamlet of the title, not the main character, Hamlet Senior, who, formerly King of Denmark, now dead. And Horatio's like, oh my god, I gotta go tell Hamlet Jr., main character, Hamlet Jr. So, meanwhile, Hamlet Jr. is, like, hanging out with his uncle, who is now king, Claudius, who has married Hamlet's mother, Gertrude. And Hamlet is not pleased about any of this. He's moping around like the emo boy that he is. Original emo. TM. And he's like, why do you get married so quickly after Dad died? This is bullshit. And Gertrude and Claudius are like, but just, you need to get over it, because no one cares that your dad died. We're happy now because we're married and it's great. And he's like, this is bullshit. My dad just died. And they're like, no, you just need to calm down. It's fine. Stop being such an emo. We've all moved on. Oh, he was my husband and I moved on, so you need to move on too, right? And then Horatio bursts in and he's like, oh my god, Hamlet, you gotta come and see this thing. It's terrifying. So he takes Hamlet to see the ghost. And the ghost is all like, Hamlet, ooh, avenge me. Claudius murdered me. Yeah. And Hamlet's like, oh, but I'm just a 30-year-old teenage emo. I don't do vengeance, Dad. And the ghost is like, no, seriously, Claudius killed me and you need to avenge me. Come on, you're my son. Do it. Act 1 over. Okay, so Act 2. Hamlet's begun being real weird because, well, the ghost told him to kill his uncle and it's all very upsetting for him. So he's been acting real odd and people have started to notice. So his two mates from university, Claudius gets them to come and talk to him to be like, yo man, what up? So they arrive and they tell Hamlet that there's some players that they met on the road, which if you read Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard, you'll learn all about those folk. It's a good book. Better than this play. This play's bad. Anyway, so they're like, some players are coming and that should cheer you up, right? And then he's all like, no, but I'm crazy. And then he talks to Polonius, who's like, sort of, I guess, an advisor to the king. I'm not really sure what Polonius' actual job is. He is the father of Ophelia and Laertes, who will come into the piece later. So, anyway, he's like talking to Hamlet, and Hamlet's all like, I'm crazy! And Polonius is like, are you though? Because I'm sensing a weird, like, sort of, like your double meaning and everything you say. It's sort of, I don't know, it's suspicious. I'm not sure that you are crazy. It's madness, but there'll be method in it. Work from the play. So, what happens next? So Hamlet meets with the players, and he's all like, guys, I need you. Because at this point, Hamlet is like, I don't know that I believe that ghost. What if it was like an evil spirit and it wasn't actually my dad and it's like sent to trick me into doing bad things? So he wants to get himself proof that Claudius did kill his father. So he's like, guys, I want you to put on a play that has very similar storyline to what is supposedly happened here in this place, and then I'm going to write a speech that's going to make it even more similar to what Ghost Dad said was going on, so that you can read it at the play and it'll be great. End of Act 2. Alright, so Act 3. Play hasn't been performed yet. Hamlet's just woe is meing all over the place, and he's all, oh, if only, maybe I should just die, and then I won't have to worry about all of this, like, bullshit that's going on in my life right now. Maybe if I just die, that'll be fine. And then he realizes that he has no idea what comes after death, and that would be bad. That's, like, literally his whole to be or not to be speech. It's all, you know, to be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler to endure the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or by opposing end them, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, who knows what dreams may come? And that's all I know off by heart, so that's what you're getting. Because I've studied this play 4 times, and I hate it. That's why I'm telling you all about it, because it's bad. So basically what he's saying there is like, oh, maybe I should just die and then I won't have to deal with it, but I don't actually know what happens after death. Maybe it'll be worse. So I don't know, and he's all umming and ahhing about life and the universe and everything. And then the play happens. And they read the speech that Hamlet wrote, and it's all very accusatory, but like subtle, so like, you know, maybe not everyone knows what's going on. Like it's not outright, this guy right here killed his brother and stuff. But it's like, this guy in the play killed his brother. So the play happens, and they read the speech, and Claudius is all mad about it, and he storms off. He's like, how dare these players accuse me of stuff? This never happened. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even understand what that speech was. I'm leaving. And so then Hamlet follows him, because he's like, oh, that totally means he's guilty. I've proved it now. So he follows him, but Claudius is praying, because he feels guilty or something, and he's all... and Hamlet's all, oh no, he's praying, I can't kill him now, he might go to heaven. If you kill someone when they're praying, apparently they go to heaven. I didn't know that, but any and all sinners out there, if you just pray at the moment of death, apparently you'll be fine. So, don't worry about it. So he's all, oh no, I can't kill him. And this is when I start to really hate Hamlet as a character, because that's a bullshit excuse, Hamlet. Either kill him or don't kill him, but make up your mind. He's just a wishy-washy, emo, in this whole play. It's bad. It's bad, I'm telling you, it's bad. So he like leaves to go talk to his mother and like confront her about, you know, the fact that she totally married her dead husband's brother pretty soon after her husband died, and that was bad. And unbeknownst to Hamlet, Polonius is hiding in Gertrude's cupboard so that he can like listen to what Hamlet says and decide if Hamlet is actually crazy or crazy because he's in love with Ophelia, or, you know, because Polonius has decided it's definitely the Hamlet's in love with Ophelia, that's why he's gone crazy. It's like, oh, it's definitely because my daughter's so great. Couldn't be anything to do with the fact his dad just died. No, it's definitely about the love that he has for my daughter. So he's all like, I'm going to hide and see what he says and decide it definitely is the love of my daughter because she's so great. And Hamlet's like yelling at Gertrude and like he threatens her or something. And Polonius makes a noise of shock because, oh my god, Hamlet just threatened his own mother. It's devastating. And Hamlet is all, spies! And stabs a sword, right, stabs a sword right into the cupboard and kills Polonius. Doesn't know it's Polonius. He opens the cupboard and he's all like, oh no, what have I done? This is terrible. I definitely should have just killed my uncle earlier and then none of this would have happened. It would have been fine. He doesn't actually say that, I just adding that for flavour. You're right, Polonius is dead. End of that act. I don't even know what number act we're at anymore. I'm totally lost. But anyway, end of that act. So then Claudius is like, Hamlet, this is later, it's like the next day or whatever. He's like, Hamlet, you've been acting real weird lately, and I think maybe it would be a good idea if you went on a trip with your old mates, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to England. I think that would be good for you. But Claudius secretly writes a note, sealed with like the king's seal, so no one else allowed to open it, for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to give to the like English authorities when they get to England, that says, kill Hamlet. So that's not nice. It's not very nice. But I mean, he did kill his brother, so obviously not a nice guy. And then Ophelia comes in, and she's all, oh, I'm so crazy with grief. Oh, jeez. Attacking Jigglypuff. Oh, no, I'm so crazy. Here are some flowers. I'll give you all flowers, because that's how crazy do. Just give people flowers, apparently. And they were like, oh no, she's gone crazy with grief. So she's not crazy with grief because Polonius is dead, and that's sad. But also, I skipped a bit in the previous act. There's a bit where she has a conversation with Hamlet, and he's like, oh, like, I don't love you. I never loved you. I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. And in that speech, I do want to go into detail on this actually. I'm so mad I forgot about it, because that's when the "get thee to a nunnery" line happens. I mean, that's a very famous Hamlet line. You've probably heard it. And I have issues with certain people's interpretations of the text at this point. So my lecturer at university, which I like to think that they should know better by university, but apparently not, apparently they're terrible, said that "get thee to a nunnery" has a double meaning, and Hamlet's actually telling Ophelia to go to a brothel and become a sex worker. But it's ludicrous. It doesn't even make contextual sense, because the rest of his speech is all about how men are bad, men are evil, men do bad things, and women have babies, and sometimes those babies turn out to be men, and men are bad, so women should stop having babies. So he is actually telling her to go to a nunnery so she doesn't like get married and have babies, because some of them will be men, and men are terrible. And you know what? He's not wrong. Men are terrible. So there's no way he would be telling her to go to a brothel and become a sex worker, because like contraception didn't exist back then, and she would definitely have lots of babies, and some of them would undoubtedly be turned into men. So he's definitely not telling her to do that, because it literally makes no sense. Anyway, so she's all, back to the next act, she's all crazy for two reasons. Hamlet doesn't love her, her dad's dead, it's a whole thing. Laertes, her brother, he's been away for a while, he comes back, finds out his dad's dead, and that Hamlet did it, and that Ophelia's gone crazy, and he swears bloody vengeance on Hamlet, because, you know, you would. And then, so Claudius is like, this is a good, if you kill him, my hands will be clean. So then they plot, he and Laertes plot, to kill Hamlet by challenging him to a duel, but Laertes will have a poison-dipped sword, and just to be extra sure that Hamlet dies, Claudius is also going to poison a chalice and give it to Hamlet to drink, just to make absolutely sure that he definitely will die. And then we learn that Ophelia has drowned. She probably killed herself. Very sad. This is actually the reason that this plays a tragedy. That literally is the format of how a tragedy is a tragedy. Lots of people can die, but it's not a tragedy unless the one purely innocent character dies. So that's Ophelia, and that's probably the only educational bit of information you're going to get out of this entire thing that I'm doing here. So enjoy that. Take that to school, kids. Anyway, end of Act 4. Okay, so Act 5 starts with some grave diggers digging Ophelia's grave. They had this whole discussion about whether or not she should have a religious burial because she killed herself. Yeah. And then Hamlet and Horatio just walking by. I don't know why Hamlet's just allowed to wander around. Something to do with the fact that the Danish people love him, so they can't do anything about the fact that he killed Polonius. But it seems a bit odd to me that you just let him wander around after he murdered Bella. But, not, in bloody Elizabethan Denmark, so what do I know? So, and he's walking past the grave diggers, and they're, digging up old graves to, make space for Ophelia, basically. So there's, human bones all over the place, and Hamlet is not happy about this. He's, offended on behalf of these skeletons. The human remains will be treated this way. And then he finds a skull, and somehow he knows that this skull is Yorick's, who is a court jester from when he was a child. And that's when the "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, a man of infinite jest" line happens with the skull, Famous line, misquoted all the time. It's not "I knew him well," it's "I knew him, Horatio." That's the only other bit of education you're going to get out of this, so you can also take that to school, kids. Not take it to school kids, take it to school, kids. Just as long as we're clear about that. Don't just walk up to school kids and tell them that quote is wrong. That'd be weird. Don't do it. Then Uh, the duel is called, like Ladies challenges Hamlet to a duel. It's a whole thing. The duel hasn't started yet, and Claudius is like, I'm gonna drink some of this delicious drink, and then I'm gonna put some poison in it. But because I've already drunk some of it, Hamlet won't think it's poison, and then he offers it to Hamlet, and Hamlet's like, I'm about to fight in a duel, I don't want to drink. Leave me alone, old man. So he doesn't drink, and is therefore not poisoned yet. Duel happens. They're fighting. They're having a whale of a time. And then Gertrude drinks from the poison chalice, and Claudius does like Willy Wonka from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when the children do something that they're not allowed to. Just a, no, don't, please, stop. He does not try very hard to stop Gertrude drinking this chalice. So she is poisoned and slowly dying. Duel continues. At some point, both of them are stabbed with the poisoned sword. They like swap swords. Maybe both swords get knocked out of their hands and then they like swap them accidentally. And so both of them get cut with the poison blade. Bad. Are they both gonna die? Okay, so now they're both poisoned. And Laertes is all, Hamlet, you're gonna die too, but also I'm dying. And somehow he dies first, which is confusing to me since I feel like Hamlet would definitely have got cut with the poison sword before they swapped swords, unless they swapped swords twice. I don't think they swapped swords twice. So anyway, it's just faster acting on Laertes. He's got less of an immune system build up or something. So he's dying and he's all, oh, Hamlet, it was the king, he poisoned you, it's all his fault. Also, I forgive you. He dies. And then Hamlet is like, I knew you were a bastard, Claudius. I knew from the start. My ghost dad told me, and don't question it. No further questions about ghost dad. But he did tell me you were a bastard. So, drink from that chalice. And he forces Claudius to drink, and Claudius dies. And then Hamlet dies, and Horatio's just there like, and then the Norwegians invade. If you enjoyed that stream of consciousness description recap of Hamlet, chuck us a like and subscribe for more random content like this, and see you next time.